Cargo van ownership. My authority, my MC number after 90 days. Now what? Before I get into my usual line with this segment of the Gig Geezer, I strongly recommend those of you who are in the Columbia, South Carolina metropolitan area, in the Greenville-Spartanburg metropolitan area, in the Charleston metropolitan area, in the Augusta, Georgia metropolitan area, and the Charlotte, North Carolina metropolitan area. If you have a running vehicle, you may want to check out this segment of the Gig Geezer at the end. So hang around to the end. I got something I think that will be of interest to you. If this is your first time checking out the Gig Geezer, or if you're a returning visitor of the Gig Geezer, hey, thanks for coming by. And if you would not mind, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. I mentioned in the teaser, my cargo van ownership, my authority, my MC number being active after now 90 days. What does it mean? Well, the short of it means that I have managed to maintain financial responsibility in order the short of it is that I've managed to maintain financial responsibility and also been active in being able to transport items for pay across state lines. That's the short of it. The short of it also is, as I mentioned about maintaining financial responsibility, for me, it's been actually since December of 2022. I've been paying commercial insurance, $1,500 a month for myself and for the queen of my life for this Sprinter/cargo van. That's the short of it. But what it means from a business standpoint, and I may be repeating myself here, but if you notice vehicles, they have a US DOT number, which is like the registry of your business with the US Department of Transportation. But then there's also that MC number, which is your motor carrier number. That is through the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. That number grants you the right, the authority to transport items for pay across state lines. Now, there are various kinds of authority, but I have a basic form of authority that costs me $300, and each other form of authority through the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration costs an additional $300. Just for a quick review, you must maintain a minimum of $300,000 liability coverage, which is combined single limit coverage. Going back for me is Insurance 101 or Property and Casualty 101 coverage, combined single limit. The most that your policy would pay is, if you maintain a minimum of $300,000, is for bodily injury and for property damage is $300,000. That's the most that your policy is going to pay for any of those facets of an incident that you're liable for. And then there is $50,000 minimum for cargo coverage. That's if the stuff that you're transporting gets fucked up. That comes out of your policy. Now, there is a more desirable number, and that is $1 million combined single limit liability coverage and $100,000 cargo coverage. That type of coverage is going to get you in the doorway to a lot of potential brokers and shippers. Now, many people may hedge at getting commercial insurance, and for good reason. One of the reasons is that they may not need it. In fact, I have people tell me that you don't need it. I don't need it. And you may be right, because what you're probably doing is that you're just doing gig app stuff, DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, Roadie, Freight, Point Pickup. I don't like those motherfuckers, but I'm just mentioning them anyway. Dispatch, those type of apps, you need to maintain actually state minimum coverage, at least to satisfy their requirements. However, and I say this, however, as an insurance agent, I must warn you that you are doing commercial work with using your vehicle, be it your personal vehicle, a minivan, a pickup truck, or a Sprinter/cargo van. But the point is that you may do that. However, if you're in a claim situation in which you're at fault, your insurance policy may be rescinded and they won't pay that claim because your company may not offer an endorsement An endorsement is like an addendum to your policy that covers for work for like DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, or even in rideshare, Uber and Lyft. And so you have to be mindful of that situation if that ever occurs. And then you've got some carriers that do offer that you do have some carriers that offer an endorsement or an addendum to your policy that actually covers that type of work. So you have to look into that stuff and you have to make that decision for yourself. That said, too, there are content creators out there who do not have commercial coverage, but they've got their vehicle under their personal policy, and so they're spending a lot less per month than I am for insurance. But I know that when I go out there using my van or even my F-150, which is to my right, my F-150 has that endorsement that I'm telling you about, that it covers me when I'm out there doing the DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, or Roadie. And definitely in this van, I'm covered in those situations. Now, moving on. That said, by the way, if you like the content that's been provided in this segment of the Gig Geezer and any other segment of the Gig Geezer, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome comments in the section below. I know that I went off a bit on insurance, but it's very much a part of with your MC number, because with your MC number, when you register your MC number through certain portals, it's going to also confirm whether you've got that insurance coverage or not. A question may be, why did I apply? A question may be, why did I apply for my authority when some say it may not even be worth it? Well, for me, I did not know what authority was until I met a young guy last October. And in that conversation, it really got me thinking about, well, I think I want to get a Sprinter van. And he was driving a smaller cargo van, the smaller 4-cylinder version. But what caught my attention too was the fact that he said he was making $8,000 a month. Now I know what $8,000 a month translates into. And here I was at that time working for out of my F-150, making $6,000 a month. And so again, that got me to thinking. And so weeks later, I'm sitting in front of somebody at Bank of America. We're talking about applying for a business credit card. And then later that week, we're talking about filling out paperwork for a commercial loan for this Sprinter/cargo van. So, but in that conversation that we had, because I met him on 2 occasions though, but in our conversations, he said that he had a dispatcher and he had his authority. And he explained to me what authority was, what having his authority meant. And he told me it doesn't hurt having it. Now, as it turned out, to my left, from where I'm actually recording this content, and by the way, today is Sunday, April 23rd, 2023. To my left, my next door neighbor actually has his own transport business in which he's an owner operator. He has a tractor trailer, and then he also has a big heavy duty 350 or 3500. I forget which one it is, but it's a 3500 or 350. He has a fifth wheel hookup in the bed of his vehicle. And in our conversations, he also mentioned to me that, hey, it doesn't hurt having your authority. So I'm thinking, why not? Why not get it? And so that's what on January 3rd of this year, I applied for my authority and my USDOT number. And then, of course, when you apply for it, you've got to wait 21 days before your authority becomes active. So my authority became active on January 23rd of this year. Now, by the way, here's another nugget. You look on the side of vehicles like trucks and all, you see them having a USDOT number, and then you may see an MC number. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. The USDOT number is the registry of your business, and then the MC number is that authority for that vehicle to transport items across state lines for pay. And so I have actually my USDOT number on a vehicle magnet right above me here, and I've made reference to that before. Some people actually do the sticker transfer. The sticker transfer on their vehicles. I prefer to use a vehicle magnet because I didn't want to have to pull that shit off of my vehicle. And so those vehicle magnets, the 12 by 24 inch vehicle magnets, cost me $42, and that includes shipping. Now, there's another thing that I'm going to do probably soon, and that's basically going to have a vehicle magnet with basically my business card um, on this on my vehicle as well. So the vehicle magnet is going to be basically my business card on the side of my vehicle. I don't have a price on that, and I don't have the measurements on that because I've not looked into it. But that is probably one of the next things I do when I'm running local and doing local stuff. Now moving on. What were some of the things that I wanted to accomplish with getting this authority? Well, going back to really the beginning. I got this Sprinter/cargo van looking ahead, realizing that, first of all, the money that I'd been making the last 3 years doing primarily gig food delivery work had really begun to plateau. 2020, I made $75,000, $76,000. 2021, I made $82,000. 2022, I made $81,000, just south of $82,000. So I saw where I really didn't have, I saw where it's not really like I'm going to be able to improve upon what I'm making unless I'm staying out there 16 hours a day, 16, 18 hours a day, which is not going to be possible for yours truly. And so, realizing that there is this plateauing that's happening for me, I felt that the next move for me would be to look into a Sprinter/cargo van. Now, one of the things that I'll share very shortly about Sprinter/cargo van is that actually I'll just mention it now. One of the things that I realized with having a Sprinter/cargo van is that it really gets me into the parking lot, and with some determination, it gets me to the playing field. What gets me onto the playing field without any questions or reservation is a box truck. That's what gets you onto the playing field, and you start seeing things really unfold for you. But you can still make things happen with a Sprinter/cargo van. And I think with my segments of the Gig Geezer over recent weeks and months, you've seen that I have shown incremental progress to the money that I'd been making prior to completing a transaction for this van. Now, having realized that things were kind of plateauing on the gig food delivery side, and you can attribute that to the pay opportunities not being what they were back in 2020, 2021, but also the hypersaturation of people being on those apps. There's a lot of things involved. Customer behaviors, spending habits have changed in all since 2020, 2021. A lot of factors that contributed to me making that decision. Well, one of my goals was that one of the things that I realized was that 80 to 90% of the money that I'd made prior to getting a Sprinter/cargo van was made through completing DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats deliveries, Instacart deliveries, and the like. So my goal was to flip that ratio to where 80% of my money is being made doing last mile delivery stuff, and also hopefully at some point doing regional or over the road type opportunities. And that is actually being realized. In fact, the last couple of months, that number has been somewhere between 75 and 80%. So I am accomplishing that initial goal. So that's one of the reasons why I got the authority to incorporate multiple opportunities. And so again, I'd like to think I'm getting there. So one of the better known opportunities that I've shared here on the Gig Geezer channel happens to be the on this segment here, where I showed where I made over $2,000 in a week. In fact, it was the second time I'd made over $2,000 in a week in a span of about a month. Well, a significant part of that money made was when I transported an 800-pound pallet from Charlotte to San Antonio. And I also shared that in completing that trip, it afforded me an opportunity to stop back through Houston and visit family members whom I've not seen since 2009. And if truth be said, it was only the second time I'd seen them since 1999. And so that trip, despite the fact that I didn't have any backhaul opportunities, and while I was looking, it was not a priority, simply because, as I had shared multiple times, that, hey, it was an opportunity for me to stop off in Houston, which is where I'm from. Additionally, it was an opportunity for the queen of my life, who accompanied me on the trip, to see where I would see my hometown, Houston, visit Texas for the first time, and also visit some of my family members as well. So it had more personal, it had more of a personal significance for me, but part of it was made possible the fact that I had that MC number, that authority to transport that pallet from Charlotte to San Antonio. And by the way, I made over $1,400 on that particular trip. So one may ask, did I make that decision too soon? Well, my answer to that is some suggest that, and I saw the suggestions that maybe I should try to get on with a logistics company in which I was one of their drivers, drive under their authority and possibly their insurance to gain some experience about the business, and then make a decision whether if I wanted to pursue getting my own authority and doing things as a true owner operator. Well, I've since realized that I've not done too bad. In fact, the money that I've made is very much on par with someone who is driving for those logistics companies. In that, one of the examples I gave was that, and I'll give you the name of the company. It was Bolt Express. They called me about driving for them, driving under their MC, under their insurance and all. And the lady told me that their guys are making anywhere between $6,000 and $8,000 a month, but they're out there 2 to 3 weeks at a time. Well, I told her I'm making that money and I'm home every night. There wasn't much conversation after that because, hey, here I am. I'm doing what I'm doing and I ain't out there 2-3 weeks at a time. So that's one answer. At the same time, that said, is there ever a right time to get an authority? Is there ever a right time to get your authority? Well, that depends on you. I mean, when you get it, that may be the right time. For me, it was applying for it on January 3rd, 2023. So I'll leave it at that. Now, one of the things I will say is that my personality is that I'm one who wants to have my own stuff. And I want to have control of my own destiny, sink or swim. And I've made it my determination in every effort to swim and not sink. Again, based on interactions with people that I have talked to, they said, in fact, I'll put it like this. In my conversations with some folk that I talked to, they said that having your authority would help you and not hurt you. It certainly wouldn't hurt to have it. And I agree with them after having my authority active now at least 90 days. Now, one of the things that I found out with having my authority active and all is that, and I think it's a common mistake, is that you have this new authority and now you have the right to transport items. Now you're looking for opportunities, and then you find out that, hey, some of these places have qualifying periods, for lack of better words. Some places require 30 days active authority, 60 days active authority, 90 days active authority, 180 days active authority, 270 days, or even 365 days active authority. And that's some of the things that I have found. But today, Sunday, April 23rd, 2023, I was able to complete carrier packets at 2 places. Now, hopefully what's going to happen is that I'm going to have access to at least one of the places' load boards so that I can look for opportunities in which I may be able to transport items for them. What you're going to find is that having your own authority, and this is review stuff for, this is water under the bridge stuff for those who've had their authority, but for those who haven't and are considering it, one of the main questions you're going to be asked is, what's your MC number? What's your authority number? What's your authority number? That's basically what they're asking. And having that MC number is like giving them your date of birth. That's how common of a number it is. But what does having your own authority means? What has it meant for me? Independence, control of my own destiny, I will admit to more financial obligations, but at the same time, more opportunities as a business owner, and looking down the road, maybe to bring people on up under me, under maybe my own authority and so forth, or to really say that I'm running my own business. That's what it means. It's giving me opportunity to say that. Additionally, it's meant that I've been able to negotiate my own rates in certain situations. Now I have a dispatcher, and I don't want to piss off my dispatcher because I do have one. But I will say this: having your own authority allows you to negotiate your own rates. That's one of the things that it allows you to do. The next thing is that you're controlling when you're going to work, whenever you're going to work, how long you're going to work. That's another thing. Now, you're also with your own authority, you are in a position to choose your own loads. In fact, if you work with a dispatcher, the dispatcher is working with you to decide, y'all are going to decide, you're going to decide through your dispatcher what load opportunities you're going to accept or not accept. That's really what's going on there. But she's representing you. She's representing you to negotiate opportunities. She may tell you that, hey, here's what they're offering. What do you think? Now you can come back, you can turn around and say, hey, no, I want a little more. See if you can get a little more for that. If not, then we know that this is the bottom number, but we're looking for more because, hey, your dispatcher is in business. Your dispatcher can only make money if you make money. So it's a business relationship. It's a give and take there. But it all starts with that authority. Now, another thing that is not always said, but I really believe that having your own authority is a factor with this. Now, I have looked into some places in which I would have driven under their authority. They would have required me to maintain my own insurance, but then some places, again, may have offered their own insurance. But the main thing is that you're operating under their authority. When you're operating under someone else's authority, you get paid when they pay you, whenever that is. Having your own authority affords you the opportunity to get paid sooner than later. And what I mean by that is that you're able to go to a factoring company, which is going to pay you sooner than later. Okay. And one of the biggest benefits that I found with the factoring company that I deal with is that I deal with non-recourse factoring. And so that means they advance me the money once I send them the proper documentation, which is going to be the rate confirmation sheet, perhaps proof of delivery, be it a photo of what was delivered, but also the most important thing is the signed bill of lading. So when they approve that, then they release the money to me. Now, the benefit with non-recourse factoring is that if they're unable to get the money from the shipper, the customer, they don't come and recoup that money from me. Whatever money, the money after they've paid me, it's on them to get their money. But it starts with having your own authority. So you're able to negotiate your own rates, but you're also able to negotiate this. You're also put yourself in a position to get paid much sooner than someone saying, okay, we'll pay you a week or 30 days. And then that week becomes several weeks or even months. I don't want to sound like that person on Sunday morning or Tuesday evening or Wednesday evening, but I am coming in now. And I had asked y'all, I asked those of you who are in the Columbia, South Carolina metropolitan area, the Greenville-Spartanburg metropolitan area, those of you who are in the Charlotte, North Carolina metropolitan area, the Charleston, South Carolina metropolitan area, and the Augusta, Georgia metropolitan area to hang around to the end. What I want to get out there to y'all is that I am in a position where I am a vendor of a company that has given me the opportunity to dispatch delivery opportunities to other drivers. Basically, I am the equivalent of like the Delivered catering app or the Deliver That catering app, in which they are vendors of Easy Cater. And so the opportunities they get through Easy Cater, they then dispatch those opportunities out to drivers like myself and you. So it's like this. You will be working an app. I will be dispatching you delivery opportunities from a couple of distributorships and from a major retail store. And you will get paid per delivery. What I have found is that the amount that you're paid, because now when you work freight, when you work roadie, when you work dispatch, there may be the possibility of you getting a tip. On these apps, you don't get tips, but the base money that they pay you is very similar to what would be the base money paid on ththese other apps. And so if you're interested, please email me to this email address. That's giggeezer3.5@gmail.com. Please email me your name, your phone number, and the vehicle or vehicles that you operate. That will determine some of the delivery opportunities that I would be able to dispatch to you. Now, send me your name. Don't send me just any fucking name, because at some point I will be sending out 1099 statements, and I'll also be requesting that you fill out a W-9 form. And so you've got to put in there a business name or your actual name and all. So don't fuck with me that way, okay? But it's an opportunity to make some money. And so if you email me your name, phone number, and the vehicles that you operate, I will send you a link to that explains everything. And by the way, some have asked me about my dispatcher. Her name is Miss Tracy. Tracy is a straight shooter. She doesn't curse like I do, but she's a straight shooter. She's going to tell you like it is. Her email address is ellabelladispatcherservice@gmail.com. And that's right here, ellabelladispatcherservice@gmail.com. Now, Miss Tracy has already made it known to me on multiple occasions. She's no longer accepting Sprinter/cargo van clients. She is looking for those who are owner operators of box trucks. So if you're working box trucks and above, box trucks or your tractor trailers, Miss Tracy is someone that you may want to look in, may want to explore a business relationship with. The next thing is that that factoring company that I deal with is OTR Solutions. That's www.otrsolutions.com, and there's a link that they have provided me to share with y'all. And if you click that link, you can submit your information. That's if you have your MC number and all. Because now the reason why I mentioned about having your MC number and all, because the companies like, and I'll mention some of them, like A&E Logistics and LJ Innovation, or I think they're out of San Antonio. I've called them and found out that you cannot factor your payments through them. They pay you when they pay you. And that's the problem with a lot of those places. They pay you whenever they pay you, when supposedly they get the money. That's all I have for this segment of the Gig Geezer. If you like the content that's been provided in this segment or in any other segment, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. I'm Inwood Lane, and as always, may your grind and may your hustle continue.